Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're actually going to slow things down a bit. So settle in because we're exploring a profoundly emotional metaphor about human connection, about loyalty, and really the very nature of the relationships we build over our lifetime. It takes something as primal and as deeply familiar as a campfire, and it uses it to completely decode the complex dynamics of our social circles. Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to explore an idea that might honestly change how you view every single relationship you have. Let's kick things off with a pretty heavy question. Think about the people in your life right now. Your friends, your colleagues, your extended family, the whole shebang. If you were being completely honest with yourself, how many of them are simply standing around your fire just because it's currently providing them with warmth? It's a tough thing to ask, I know, but setting this intimate, reflective atmosphere right out of the gate is absolutely crucial for what we're about to unpack.
So, this whole journey actually begins with a seemingly simple poem about a campfire. It originally popped up on tinybuddha.com, but within these lines lies just a brilliant breakdown of the exact types of people we encounter. It maps them out perfectly against the natural life cycle of a fire. It's honestly a masterclass in using vivid imagery to illuminate a complex and, let's face it, sometimes painful social reality.
We call this framework the Campfire Theory. It essentially compares the stages of human loyalty to the burning and fading of a campfire. Together, we're going to take a chronological journey through the life of a flame. We're going to watch it roar to life, see it settle, watch it inevitably fade, and observe exactly how the people around us react to every single one of those shifting stages.
All right, part 1, Drawn to the Warmth, the start of a connection.
The poem kicks off with this incredibly true line: some people come into your life for your warmth. Think about it. When you're thriving, when you're successful, energetic, and just burning bright, you naturally attract people. You are providing resources, comfort, joy, and heat. Individuals are drawn to that abundance. They want to be near the person throwing the best party, offering the best advice, or radiating the most success. And honestly, there's nothing inherently wrong with that at first. It is literally human nature to seek out a warm fire.
Moving into part 2, Basking in the Glow, enjoying the good times.
Because a roaring fire eventually settles into a steady, comfortable state. As the poem goes on to say, some stay long enough to enjoy the glow. Now, there's a really subtle distinction here. These are the folks who stick around while things remain pleasant, easy, and comfortable. They're the friends who love the good times, right? They passively enjoy the beautiful ambiance of your friendship, your generosity, or your success. But notice that key word, passively. They're enjoying the glow, sure, but they aren't the ones getting up to chop the wood or tend to the coals to make sure the fire actually stays alive.
But, well, as we all know from the harsh realities of life, eventually the flames fade. Everything in life is cyclical. You just can't burn at maximum capacity forever. You might lose a job, you might face an illness, you might just become utterly exhausted and burnt out. The heat dissipates, that vibrant light dims, and suddenly you are left completely vulnerable in the darkening woods.
Which brings us to part 3, when the fire burns low, the true test. The poem hits us with this: some disappear the moment you burn low. And wow, does that sting? This is the crucial point where we have to confront the painful reality of fair-weather friends. The second you begin to struggle, the second you have a little less to offer them, the second it becomes even slightly inconvenient to sit by your fire, they vanish. They pack up their chairs and they walk away to find another roaring fire, purely because they were only ever there for what you could provide for them, not for you. Seriously, ask yourself right now, who stayed when your fire faded? When you went through your hardest breakup, your worst financial crisis, or your deepest moment of grief, picture the specific faces of the people who actually remained sitting by the ashes with you. I guarantee you, the crowd thinned out considerably. And when those fair-weather friends abandon the dying embers, a profound atmospheric shift happens. The night gets cold. There's this creeping chill and a devastating sense of isolation that sets in. You're shivering, your resources are completely depleted, and you're sitting in the dark realizing just how many people you thought were your friends were actually just tourists at your campsite.
But hey, the story does not end in the dark. Part 4, Weathering the Cold Night, the Rare Few.
The poem says, but a rare few stay when the night gets cold. Look at the stark contrast here. This rare group, they don't run from the darkness. They don't flee when the temperature drops or when your life struggles become complicated or messy. No, they anchor themselves right there beside you in the freezing wind. This right here reveals the absolute core difference in human loyalty. On one side, we have the passive takers, the ones who left when it burned low. And on the other side, we have the active givers, those who, as the poem so beautifully puts it, bring wood when your flames grow old. They don't just sit there expecting you to warm them up. When they see you fading, they leave the comfort of the campsite, walk into the dark woods themselves, and bring back their own resources, their own time, their own energy, their own love, to help rekindle your fading fire.
And that leads us to part 5, finding your true people, your lifelong keepers.
Because, these rare few don't just do the heavy lifting of bringing wood. The poem notes they also share stories and embrace your warmth. This highlights such a beautiful mutual exchange of vulnerability. True friends appreciate the very essence of who you are. They aren't trying to exploit your heat. They genuinely want to share the space with you. They want to connect on a deeply human level, sitting in the glow together as equals.
So when we bring it all together, what do the actions of your people actually look like? Well, unwavering loyalty means they stay in the cold when everyone else leaves. They actively bring wood to help you rebuild. They share stories and connect deeply. And finally, they protect you and weather the storm. When the inevitable rain comes pouring down, they are the ones holding the tarp over your fragile embers, making sure you don't get completely extinguished.
The poem ends simply, "Those are your people." It's such a short line, but man, it carries some profound weight. Let that sink in for a second. It isn't about having a massive, loud crowd around your fire, not at all. It is entirely about identifying the rare few who are actually committed to keeping the flame alive alongside you.
So, I'm going to leave you with one final thought to carry with you today. Who is keeping your fire alive tonight? Who are the people who brought you wood when you had literally nothing left to burn? When you figure out who those rare few are, maybe take a moment today to reach out to them. Just say, "Thank you for weathering the storm." Keep your fires burning bright, and take care of those who sit by your side in the cold.